Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon and good evening as per your present locations. Hope you all are doing well. I am Sneha Tambe from Samsung R&D India. A warm welcome to you all for our webinar on Introduction to Knox ML Ecosystem and Opportunities. Today we will cover the important trends in on-device ML and introduce you all to our Knox ML platform. By elaborating on the ML value chain, we will also share some interesting customer engagement stories and potential use cases for possible opportunities. So let me take this opportunity to introduce our speaker panel for today. We have with us Saad Hashmi from Samsung. Saad is currently working as a product manager with the on-device AI PM team, and he has been associated with Samsung Research for 4 years now. He has been involved primarily in building features that improve experience and productivity for all smartphone users. So welcome, Saad. Next we have
Thanks, Neha.
thank you. Next we have Renju C. Nair from Samsung. He is the principal architect for the on-device AI. Renju has been associated with Samsung for 15 years now, and he has been involved in Knox ML as a primary architect for development and research. Welcome, Renju. And we have Shivam Srivastava from Samsung. Shivam is the chief engineer for open innovation. He has been associated with Samsung for 7 years, and he takes care of our MDM solution, Samsung Knox Manage, while working with many large customers, and he's also actively involved with the Knox ML team. So welcome, Shivam.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you, Sneha, for the introduction.
Thank you. And now I call upon Saad to take you all through some important market trends in on-device ML. So over to you, Saad.
Thank you, Sneha, for the kind introduction. Hello and greetings of the day to all our partners globally. It's really good to see so many people take out time and join us for today's discussion. And I'm very excited to share with you what we have been working on over the last couple of years. As Neha said, I am Saad Hashmi and I'm working as a product manager in the on-device AI PM team at Samsung Research Institute, Bangalore. Today, along with Renju and Shivam, I will be taking you through the world of on-device and introduce you to the Knox machine learning platform. I know that the participants are mostly on mute, so please feel free to ping any query that you have in the chat box. We will definitely take them up and reply to them at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. Yeah, we can move on to the agenda. Thank you. To keep things simple, as Sneha had iterated in the beginning, the agenda for today is divided mainly into 4 parts. First, we will take you through some of the market and industry trends in the world of on-device. Over here, I would also like to highlight some of the key differences between the traditional cloud business versus on-device and the edge domain. Next, we move on to introduce the Knox machine learning platform, structures, components, USPs, and how it can be leveraged for your benefit. Finally, we will discuss some of our recent customer stories and give some examples of how you can make the most of Knox ML for your use cases. Okay, so on-device AI is a trend that has recently seen a huge adoption. With better hardware, need for low latency and connectivity independent solutions, many enterprises are now adopting edge AI over conventional cloud-based AI solutions. Leading research houses have seen an adoption of edge AI, and these trends are not slowing anytime soon, with 75% of data creation and processing expected to be done outside the conventional centralized data centers, up from just 10% in 2018. That is a CAGR of approximately 32%. Along with this, we are also seeing a huge ML adoption in industrial IoT as well. And if you hear it directly from enterprise executives, 94% of them have also mentioned that they will be adopting edge computing in some way or the other in the next 5 years. And they also expect a very high return on investment. Next slide, please. So coming to the basics before we go ahead into the technical details, I would like to highlight some of the differences between your cloud, edge, and on-device technologies. Cloud technology is where data is taken from a user's device to a centralized server, and the computation is done on the server and the results are sent back to the end user's device. This is the main difference between cloud and edge. In case of edge and on-device, the computation is done mostly on the end user's device. In case of on-device, the end user has the device in their hands. It could be a smartphone or a tablet, while edge devices are still a little off the user, like IoT devices. Now, why has there been a shift in recent times? Firstly, costs. So, as you all must be knowing, there's a high maintenance and running cost for cloud servers due to their high computation intensive resources. Meanwhile, in case of on-device solutions, most of the computation is done on the device, so there is just one-time cost of that device, and there is no cloud server cost. Secondly, is the privacy and security aspect. Business critical, personal, private, financial data is taken from the device and shared to a centralized location, which might be susceptible to data theft, which causes a big risk for enterprises and individuals. And all the back and forth data sharing between your device and the cloud server can also lead to latency. Now, both these things, from the security aspect as well as latency aspect, is avoided in on-device and edge solutions because the data is kept on the device and all the processing is done over there. So there is no pinging between the device and the cloud server. There are a little limitations of on-device with the fact that the computing capability is not that high, and your ML model size might not be that capable compared to cloud, but they are quite good enough to cater to the specific end users. Next slide. So we have interacted with several partners over the past few months, and we have identified some of the key challenges faced by IT admins, ISVs, IT operators, and so on. And the first of them is the performance. So performance is one of the key KPIs for any solution. It could be the efficient running of the solutions, deploying or updating the solutions, the latency of them, and so on. It has always been a concern for enterprises to have the most high-performing apps and solutions for their own customers. Secondly, as I had earlier mentioned, security and privacy have become a leading concern for enterprises. Be it employee data or client data, security of company devices, or any IP or proprietary solution, everything is very important to be safe and secure. Moving on, and this case is especially applicable to machine learning and AI, it is the pack of data. The access to useful data has always been a challenge. It could vary from data acquisition, like permissions needed, access to those data, or data management, which involves storing and processing the data. These three are the main challenges faced, but with changing customer expectations, there's also a need to provide customized and personalized experiences. So before we move on to the next section, I would like to have a quick poll. So this poll has no right or wrong answers, but we just want to better understand which stage of your AI ML journey you are in, so that we can, plan the next steps with you accordingly. You could be from, you could not have adopted, you're just planning to do it, or you might be very adept at AI in your business. So just choose the answer that is most relevant to you, so that we can also plan our engagement. You can just pick up any answer. If you are interested, if you have no plan, just choose a relevant answer. And okay, I hope everyone has put in their answers. Okay, that's good. We see that approximately 40 plus 42% of the people are also okay. Very nice. See, AI has been adopted by almost half of our participants, and the remaining 40% are going to adopt it or are already in the early stage of adoption. Okay, thank you. So now I think it's a good time for us to introduce you to the Knox machine learning platform. And as the challenges highlighted over here, we would like to show how it can help you solve most of these challenges, if not all. And for this, I would like to hand it over to Shivam. Shivam, you might now lead the way.
Thank you, Saad. Thank you so much. And hi, everyone, and very good morning from my side to all of you. I hope you guys are doing good. So, after Saad has put a very great foundation for machine learning for on-device AI, with this, I would like to introduce Knox machine learning platform and how it can help you to solve most, maybe not all, but most of the problem uh, that was introduced by Saad. So, let's have a quick peek. What is Samsung Knox ML? So most of you must be aware of Samsung Knox platform, which aims to provide you best-in-class mobile device security. Why I say that? Because it provides hardware-based protection from the boot process to the app that runs on our device. So every layer is covered. And as a result of our ongoing efforts, some of the highest security industries, including government, finance, healthcare, now accept Samsung Knox as a industry mobile security standard. And via leveraging that, Knox ML model Knox ML model provides security to machine learning models that are running over our device. Why? Because every data model for any enterprise is their intellectual property or important property, I would say. But ML model comes with a very unique security challenges. I will speak about it in later slide in brief. And but those challenges are very difficult for developer to address without support from the mobile operating system platform. So what are those attacks? We will see later. So now on your screen, there are two sections, a right section, the left section. So I will start with the left section. So Knox ML can enable a stakeholder to do three things, at least three things, and there are enhancements too. That maybe once you will get to know what is Knox ML and you will read about it, and maybe we will share some content, you will see how it can benefit your enterprise or enterprise application. So the 3 points that encrypt, how you can secure your data models of machine learning via Knox ML encryption tool. You can package your model with your application and ensure only uncompromised device can run them. So if the device is compromised, your data model will not run. And how? Because it takes the advantage of Knox attestation. Second is restrict. You can also restrict which app can use your data models, right? And then you can accelerate your development just by using Knox SDK, for which you have to use a minimal number of APIs to load your data models to open our Knox ML session so that it runs in a secure environment. Whereas on the right side, you can see a diagram where we have shown a simplified version of Knox ML encryption tool. It takes data model of most of the format and then it converts it to ONNX format. and then it can package the APK with the data models and install over device. And via Knox API, you can create Knox ML model protection session, load it, execute it, and once everything is done, you can finally destroy the session. So based on your need, you can handle the Knox ML model lifecycle inside your application lifecycle. So I will give you some second to digest it. And if you have some question, you can put it over chat. So as I promised, I will talk about some of the machine learning security challenges. So those are here. So why do we need Knox ML? First, let me describe what are these attacks, and then you will see the importance of why do we need Knox for machine learning. So first is adversarial samples. So suppose there is an auto-driving car which is running on artificial intelligence, and if some attacker comes and force any AI or ML model to produce a incorrect output. So at the point where the car has to take the right turn, it takes a left turn. And what happens? You can get into an accident. So that's why it is so important to secure your data models. And the adversarial samples refers to when somebody force an AI or ML model to produce the wrong output. Second one is model inversion. Because these data model are the intellectual property, then if some attacker extracts a sensitive information just by querying the data model, it is not acceptable in enterprise. And third is the model extraction. Any attacker can create a copy based on the victim's model. So these are the three in brief security challenges related to machine learning. There are more, but if you will see all these three problems, that's where Knox for machine learning can help you to protect your data models so that no attackers can attack it anyway. It ensures you it is only running over secure devices, and it ensures you it is only accessible by the application you have whitelisted. So here are the quick comparison about traditional cloud machine learning value chain versus on devices machine learning value chain that Saad has covered in previous slides. So in cloud version, you have to build your own algorithm that creates a data model. But in on-device AI, you get more of a pre-built data models. And over cloud, the data model trains over a general data, means you can say accumulative data. But over on-device, it learns and it fits to individual customer users. And third is the deployment. You can say deploy on-device AI is not linked to the app lifecycle. So you can encrypt or encrypt model deployment. And in a way, you can decouple model lifecycle from the app lifecycle, which gives a flexibility to developer to take a call at any point of app lifecycle. And then execute. The data model execute over cloud, over the traditional cloud machine learning. But here, over on device, it can run over mobile devices as well as edge devices like IoT devices. And the last one, the monitor and government, we provide a similar kind of solution that you see over over your cloud, how your data models or artificial intelligence is behaving. We can provide you that too, so that you can monitor. Before proceeding, can we run a poll?
Shivam, I think let Renju talk a little more about the components of Knox ML.
Okay. That's
then we can have that poll. I think it will be better for them to understand and reply.
Thank you, Saad. And with that, I would like to call Renju to talk about Knox for machine learning platform in detail. Renju, can you hear me?
Thank you, Shivam. Welcome all. Uh, so so far we have covered what is on-device AI, how it is benefiting, and what are the market trends. The trends of market is going towards on-device AI. We also covered the limitations and threat in on-device AI in the security threats and how Knox ML can solve those drawbacks of on-device AI and give a flexible as well as simple API interface to for the ML adapters to adapt their ML and deploy those MLs in the edge devices. Now we are going to little bit more elaborate on the Knox ML platform in the bigger picture. So the fundamental principle of Knox ML is already covered by Shivam. So it is basically centered around security, how you can encrypt your model and then how you can execute that encrypted model in the device. So your applications, you are actually attaching the encrypted model. So in the application wise, it is secured and it is actually decrypted on device using trust zone based securities. So it provides the highest security with the dual key WAP encryption and decryption algorithms. So here the big picture of Knox ML. So what are the additional components other than the basic principle of Knox ML? We actually segregate this into basically 3 pillars and 4 value chains. So the first thing is, if you see the 4 layers, we are actually targeting all the stakeholders. So for example, data scientists, data engineers, software developers, basically content creator or model creators is the first pillar. And the second pillar, we are actually targeting the IT operations, where IT admins, CIOs, associates, how we can deploy, how we can monitor those operations. Where the final pillar was mostly on the top management, business owners, product owners, as well as the users, consumers. So this is a segregation, basically 4 layers and 3 pillars connect towards the hardware-based authentication as well as the CPU, GPU compute capabilities. So so we'll go little deeper into each pillars. So first thing is customer can use Knox ML in different ways, basically. So if a customer has an ML model which requires couple of data from the devices to pass an input to the model, Knox ML provide those data in an ML ready format. For example, you can actually use the raw data, or you can actually use pre-processed data where you can apply some min-max scalar algorithms or some other normalization algorithms or image rescaling or image brightness change. All these algorithms will be accelerated using GPU and CPU. Shivam, okay, thank you. So this actually helps the developers to integrate the Knox, the ML models in pretty easy way. So we have a concept called on-device data. If you see the first pillar, there is on-device data. In that on-device data, we can actually use the raw data as well as pre-built and accelerated algorithm enabled data to use your own model. So imagine that you have a model to be run in the edge device. You need to use some input. So that inputs you can take from the device itself using this on-device data, and you can use that input, pass it to Knox ML ecosystem, and execute your model and get the output back. So similarly, we have something called pre-built ML. So we have a already ready-made ML models which you can directly use and you can customize it for your own way, and you can directly get the output. In this pre-built case, all the data, everything, none of these things you should be worried about. You have to just call one single API to get the predicted output or forecasted output or classified output. So this is what we are actually proposing to the ML development pillar, which you can get the pre-built models, you can get the data, you can run your data models, you can execute in CPU as well as GPU, etc. So when it comes to the second pillar, we have something called deployment. So as you know, like if you are deploying your model in an application, you will be attaching your model to the application, or in Android case it is APK. So you will be put it in the asset folder and deploy it to that device. So most of the time ML models are pretty big. So if your application has some 4 or 5 ML models, then it can cross to 50 MB, 60 MB. Updating this application or one model, basically you have to update the entire application. So we are actually segregating the life cycle of the model from life cycle of the application. So you can use your cloud infrastructure to upload this model and interface with our web services, and the device agent in the device download it and keep it for you. So for example, if you have 5 applications and one model is getting used in all 5 applications, you don't have to create the copy of five models. Instead, you can actually use the deployment feature to create one model, and all the 5 applications we can give the access control, and these 5 applications can access that in a secure way. So once you deploy, there are something called, like, we have to understand how the model is performing in the market. What is the output coming in, what is the input coming in, what is the latency of the execution, uh, how many times it is getting executed per day. Those dashboard and a monitor, you can monitor your ML model execution in a cloud-based dashboard. Also, you can govern the model. So for example, if you identify a critical issue in a model, you can remotely stop that model execution until the deployment. Or if you want to selectively stop model on a particular condition, then also you can stop it remotely. So this is what is the ML operation. On top of ML operations, as I told initially, we have the execution ecosystem. In an encrypted way, your user model can be executed. Similarly, I told about the acceleration platform for pre-processing and post-processing techniques. So typically in AI models, the final latency will be computed as what is the pre-processing time you are taking, and what is the actual ML model execution time, and what is the post-processing time. So we have the ecosystem to accelerate and give the ready-made algorithms to do multiple pre-processing steps, and then we have the ecosystem to provide the execution of ML models, and we have the model to do the post-processing techniques also. So by doing this, then I'll come to one more feature of Knox ML. So Knox ML support personalization. So how your model can train in edge device, in the market, in the user hand. So you have an ML model. So for example, let's take an example of battery forecast. If you have an ML model, and as you know, like, many users are different. So I'll be using maybe 400 applications. So some of you will be using 1,000 applications. The number of applications and how you engage with the phone, the battery drain rate as well as forecasting will change. So how you can personalize it for a particular user or each user. So you need a training ecosystem. So that training ecosystem should be very minimalistic, and it should not take long time. So you know that ML model creation, training and all will take more time. So here we are supporting on-device personalization, on-device learning, or on-device training, where it uses full training as well as transfer learning, Also, we have other mechanisms called memory replay based learning, where you can use this API ecosystem to customize or personalize your models in the edge device itself. So coming to the third pillar, uh, is basically for the top management, consumers, everything. So we will be giving actionable insights for the ML based insights. So I talked about battery case. So we can give the forecast of battery ahead of time, that in next 3 hours your shift is going to end, but your current battery level will not be will not allow you to reach your shift. So can you please charge, or can you please do other optimization in the device so that your battery will remain till the shift. So similar kind of insights directly we can give to the phone. So first thing is we can get the pre-built ML. You can use that pre-built ML output directly to the application. Similarly, here you can directly get the insight. You don't have to attach your model or the life cycle of the model management. You can run your own AI models. You can personalize, you can monitor, you can govern it, you can deploy it using your cloud infrastructure, rather than attaching it in your applications. So all these three pillars are basically powered by CPU and GPU. So you can actually choose to execute your model in CPU, or you can execute in GPU. And this is actually centered around a couple of major components like security. As we already told, the model will be encrypted, and trust zone based encryption and decryption. We have device integrity check with the advanced Knox attestation mechanism. We have access control. You can define that, okay, this model has to be executed by so and so packages only. No others will get access to that. We have runtime authentication. Like for example, we say that one application has to access this model, that application's certificate hash will be validated in runtime to ensure that it is the right application is trying to access the model and getting the output. So similarly, we are in the process of spreading explainability. So in the market, your model can go wrong. So when the model goes wrong, why the model is going wrong? What is the output? What is the problem happened in the model? So that also we can actually we will integrate or incorporate in the dashboard, which I talked about, monitor cases, where your AI models, how it is performing in the market, and where it is failing, and when it is failing, why it is failing. That output you can get. So similarly, model health parameters, what is the latency in different execution time frame. You have one model multiple execution, or one model multiple model parallel execution, how the latency changes. All these information also can be provided. So this is the altogether value chain of the Knox ML platform together, which supports like end-to-end pipeline of an on-device AI execution, which we are proposing in front of you. So Shivam, can you please go to the next slide? So already I explained all these components. So these are the core components which is powering Knox ML. Knox ML protection is the execution environment where your AI models. So we are supporting a large number of AI models. So you can use any framework like PyTorch or Keras or TF or TF Lite, or Core ML models, or direct ONNX models, or Cafe models. All these framework you can use to make your model, and Knox ML will be able to execute those models in the device. It will be in a encrypted form, and protection will be enabled. Similar to that, the next item, which is Knox model deployment. This is the component which I talked about. You can separate your application lifecycle from model lifecycle. You can easily redeploy, update, delete the model remotely, update the model remotely. you don't have to update your application for model updates. So you can get frequent model optimizations and update it back to the device without application update. So it will be a silent feature for the user. User will never come to know also how it is. So the third component is Knox NN Learner, which provides a on-device learning for personalizing the model. So you can use this ecosystem for full training of the model, or you can use transfer learning or memory replay learning to personalize your model. The fourth component is Knox Data Provider, where you will get the direct ML ready data, which is like very rare data points which really needs for your AI model developments and all can be provided from the Knox Data Provider. Knox Compute is pre-processing and post-processing acceleration. The algorithms like min-max scaler or brightness control or rescaling of an image or um, standard scaler, normalization, all these algorithms are pre-built, so you don't have to rewrite those algorithms. And this can be certain of these algorithms can be run in GPU, which is more accelerated. Similarly, post-processing also. Knox Prebuilt ML is a library of pre-built ML models for different industry verticals. So, for example, I talked about battery forecast is one such pre-built model. And also we can co-work with the customers to create more pre-built model, which is more specific to those customers. So this ecosystem also like enhancing. So Shivam, one more, next slide. So overall, Knox ML USP is centered around security. So we will be giving multiple hardware level security with trust zone protection. As I told before, like we are large variety of ML framework execution support. So we don't have to restrict our development of ML model in any particular ML framework. So it is up to the convenience of the developer. They can choose the framework and they can start making the model, and those models will be supported directly in Knox ML USP. So Knox ML uses a PC-based tool which helps to convert your models as well as encrypt your model. You can put access control mechanisms, policies, etc. using that tool. And finally, that model will be converted to a encrypted package. That model can be used for execution. Performance, we are, as I told, pre-processing acceleration as well as GPU, CPU based accelerated execution of models. Pre-built ML models, like you can directly call with single API. You don't have to worry about how to use the models or how to get the outputs and etc. So most of the cases we are actually tweaking the performance more good towards Samsung hardware. So GPU also as well as CPU also, how the performance of hardware, how we can enhance more specific to Samsung hardware. Also operational efficiency. So these all APIs are very simple to use. So for example, to execute your model, just 5 API is there. As Shivam explained, you can just create a section, open the model, then call execute, and then close the session and close the model and close the session. So that much simple it is. So we really want to democratize enterprise AI into a next level where simplifying the operation cost or development and deployment cost to the various enterprises. So that is the major aim of Knox ML. So the final USP is basically the personalization, which I told, on-device training, which has also pre-built ML where it will be allowed to customize by the different customers. So they can use their own way of customizing it, or they can retrain and then redeploy. All these features are also available. So this is majorly, like by this slide, I just concluded what all are the features supported, how an end-to-end ecosystem is established as part of this, and with this, we can go for one more poll. Sneha, can we? So you can select your components or which all are you feel more interested. Then that will really help us. So protection execution is your basic execution of multiple ML frameworks, encrypted way of execution. On-device learning is personalization of your model. Pre-built ML is already ready-made models which can be used. Mostly we segregate into these three components. So thank you. So with this, okay, so protection execution 24%, on-device learning 43%, rebuilt ML 24%. Very good. Thank you so much. So with this, I'll move back the presentation to Saad. Saad, you can go through the different use cases and all, which helps.
Thank you to both Shivam and Renju for taking us through the details of Knox ML. I hope you all got a basic insight on how the whole thing is structured, Knox ML. And if you feel that you would like to know more or you need some clarity of any of the components, obviously for today, you can ask your queries in the question section. Otherwise, we will be sharing you the contact details towards the end of the presentation, and you can reach out to us over there. Okay. So now I would like to shift gears and talk to you about some of our recent customer stories. Next slide, please. Okay. Samsung had partnered with one of the largest retail chains in North America recently. And as a part of this engagement, the associates of the client were given Samsung devices pre-built with Knox solutions. Okay, so our devices were basically supposed to be a one-stop solution to replace multiple devices like your walkie-talkies, barcode scanners, etc. In this case, one of the challenges that the client was facing that due to their associates working remotely and in continuous uses of the devices, they were facing some battery-related issues, and this proved to be quite mission critical. So our Knox ML team partnered with the client to provide a battery-related pre-built ML solution that basically studied the usage of the devices. It understood how and when the battery was being consumed and provided an accurate forecast on the battery life, as Renju had also mentioned in his presentation. And it created a list of possible actions that were basically triggered to improve the battery runtime. These kind of solutions actually helps the clients to improve their productivity and reduce downtime and provides more power to the associates and admin. Okay, so the client didn't have to worry about the software part of it. All the challenges were shifted to the Knox ML team, and we can provide the right solution for the client. For the second story, Samsung had partnered with one of the leading enterprise mobility management companies in North America. So in this case, the client manages several machine learning solutions, both for itself and its own clients on Samsung devices. Now, as you might be figuring out, ML models are highly confidential and an IP to the company, and the security is of utmost importance. Also, it's not like the models are running in a few hundred devices. Okay, they are running in thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of devices. So these are the challenges that the client was facing in terms of the security and deployment. Knox ML provides a very simple solution to both of these problems. There is hardware level security with the trust zone and ease of model deployment through our Knox model deployment solution. due to which both the security and ML deployment became very easy. Moving on, in the last section for the day, I would like to showcase some of the possible use cases of Knox ML in the industry. So, as you might be knowing, from high-end enterprise management apps to say AR/VR apps or gaming apps, these days there are many industries that are using bulky apps, like huge resource-intensive apps that run on end users' devices. The current solutions for handling these kind of problems are pretty much reactive in nature. And when they do detect any thermal behavior that is out of bounds, any out of bound behavior, it suddenly cuts off or limits the resources, which eventually leads to device sluggishness and app crashes. And if a device is sluggish or the app is crashing, it directly impacts the user experience. For these kind of problems, Samsung's Knox ML has a solution of thermal forecast, which provides a set of machine learning models that can preemptively detect thermal anomalies and inform necessary action that the user can take beforehand, before the device starts getting sluggish or before the app crashes. Okay, so this helps us handle it in such a way that you don't have to impact the user experience whenever the device is getting overheated. So if you are someone who is using mobile device resource intensive solutions and facing similar challenges, Knox ML would be the right fit for you with the Knox engine and machine learning playable packages. And as always, all our solutions are running on device and customized for for the end user's profile. Just one more example. In the case of education and industry, ever since the outbreak of COVID a little more than 2 years ago, the education industry has especially seen a massive hit and is currently experiencing a paradigm shift. Even as the lockdowns ease, edtech and online learning, distance learning is a concept that is not going to go away, because many companies, enterprises, startups are adopting these kind of concepts. Different universities, different enterprises are developing and relying on solutions that can add value to their end users, be it the teachers, faculty, students, without being impacted by the absence of physical attendance. However, many of these solutions in the edtech domain are, again, very resource intensive. They run on high-end technology, and the running of them on the end user's device and deployment is actually a constraint. Also, the student and the teacher are not in the most ideal environment of a classroom while they are learning. For this, Samsung Knox ML solution can work with the solution provider to provide ease of deployment of their AI ML based solutions to the end user's device without impacting the performance and experience. Pre-built machine learning models will actually help users to learn without noise, without disturbances in an open environment. It can also provide interactive learning experience for the young minds of the country. So these were just two examples. Under no circumstances, obviously, are these exhaustive. We just wanted to showcase to you in a snapshot how we can adapt to two use cases and from two customer stories. The current slide shows the various industries that we can cater to. It could be from health tech, fintech to customer cares, public service, and automotive. We have started interacting with clients in these various domains and trying to provide solutions for them. The use cases could vary from, let's say, disease diagnosis to fraud detection for fintech to emergency response alerts and vehicle assistance or infotainment solutions for automotive industry. So there is not, the bounds are pretty much endless, and we have a solution for everyone, be it from creation of ML models. If you don't have an ML model, we can provide a solution for that. If you have an ML model and you are worried about the security and deployment of those models, we have a solution for you, which is basically your model protection and deployment solutions. So I hope this gives you a snapshot of how Knox ML can work along with you for your businesses. And we would like to say that for any industry, we will be working directly with you to develop solutions for these. So rest assured about that. So finally, to close off things, we have one final poll. This again is a multiple choice poll. Which area or which industry vertical are you most interested in seeing solutions for? Just please check the relevant tick boxes. It could be multiple answers so that we can also plan our engagement with you. Okay. I think you can choose up to 5 answers, so please take your time. Needed, if you have a machine learning solution already, there are different set of solutions for you to basically safely secure them and deploy them, do training on device of those solutions. If you do not have them, Knox ML has a set of pre-built ML that can basically help you to build machine learning models without having to be too worried about developing them from scratch. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So good. I think health and pharma, that's nice, and logistics and supply chain. Okay, good. So thanks for the inputs. Even we will try to work along with our partners to develop more and more solutions in these areas. With this, we come to the end of today's presentation. So thank you very, very much to all the participants who took out time to join us today to know more about this. If you have any queries, please put them in the questions tab. We will be taking up the questions now. This is a very good platform to ask any query because all the different verticals, we have people from sales, we have people from product, we have people from the R&D team. They will be able to, answer your queries directly to you, and you can obviously ask any follow-up questions as well. Okay. Okay. So, for example, some of the questions that are coming up are, hello, if we attempt to use these solutions and we are getting some technical blocks, will we get any support? Okay. Okay, and okay, I'll just go through the question. Second question is that what will be the mode of support we can expect? Okay, so these are similar kind of questions. So Nikhil or Renju, would anyone like to pick up an answer for this?
Yeah, sure, Saad. So to use the Knox ML, so basically we have the API support, and we will be co-working with the customers to create their own ML model into the pipeline. Integration issues and all those things will be handled directly. So similarly, if the customer want to they have some data sets which they want to create some model, so we can actually give that support as well. Also the debugging issues and release management issues and all, will be directly giving the technical support how to handle those things. So I hope that is the question.
Okay, thanks, Renju, for taking up that. Some other questions in a similar domain are what kind of Samsung devices are compatible with Knox ML? Okay, so basically this question is that which Samsung devices are able to support Knox ML? Nikhil, can you please answer this? So as far as I know, it is your S-series flagship devices like
yes, Saad. So at the moment, all the flagship devices and whatever rugged model, so that is specific for B2B use cases. So mostly all these models have Knox ML pre-built with SOS. So with Android SOS in the latest, all these models can support Knox ML.
Okay. So one more question has come up. What Samsung solution can you recommend to initiate devices to create models? Okay. So personally, I would like to say that it just totally depends on the kind of industry and kind of use case that you are trying to address. So firstly, it would be good to find out what consumer problem you are trying to solve and find out the kind of solution you would like to provide to them. Okay. Once you have identified that, and if it's a solution that requires you to use AI or machine learning to deploy it, definitely Samsung, you can work with Samsung. Samsung already has a list of pre-built machine learning models that can be used. You can just modify those existing machine learning models to your requirement and go ahead with sending it out to your own applications or solutions integrated with them. Obviously, we will be providing support to integrate it, to deploy to end user's device. So at your respective consumer journey, if you are a novice and who is just starting to build ML models, so we can help you with our pre-built ML solutions to develop those models. You don't have to do it from scratch. And if you already have something ready, then as I said, security, deployment, retraining is what solution of Samsung you can adopt.
So adding one more point to what all the compatible devices. So as Nikhil told, so far set of devices it is supported, but we can actually enable it to any devices, any Samsung devices basically. So there is no technical difficulty. So that is possible. So it's all based on the customer request. It can be enabled.
Okay, so we'll just wait for a few more seconds. If anyone has any queries, just please ping it on the group. We have 2 or 3 minutes before we close.
Saad, we have one more question that we are limited only to Samsung devices to use Knox, or same can be used on iOS as well as including tablets, mobiles, and PCs. So this is technically possible, but it will be purely based on customer request. We can actually enable the other Samsung, other non-Samsung Android phones also. So that is based on the request. So we can actually you can actually send us the request, and we can check internally and get back.
Okay.
Just a
Okay.
part of it is we also support tablets, like all the rugged tablets are also supported. So PC based is not supported, but mobile and tablets are supported.
So anyhow, if you still feel that you have any very detailed questions, or you would like to get in touch with your respective team members in your offices and get back to us for any other queries or any other further round of discussion, you can please reach out to Shivam from the SRIP Regional Technical Account Management Team. His email ID is mentioned over here. Shivam, that's shivam.sri@samsung.com. It could be regarding some advices that you need for integrating ML into your solutions, or to ask what kind of Samsung solutions would be best suited for you. You can reach out to him on that email address. And secondly, we would request all of you to please register at partner.samsungknox.com to know more about Samsung Knox and Samsung Knox ML. Okay. So if the other presenters and organizers have nothing more to add on to this, I would really like to thank all of you for taking time out today and joining us for today's session. I hope it was a little informative, and we really hope that you will reach out to us to discuss things further, and let's make this engagement between Samsung and yourself very successful. So yeah, that would be it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. Take care.